Hi, it's Maria, and it's time for Core and More. This is a 30-minute class where we will do just what it says, core and more. Today we're going to work a little on our glutes, and we're going to do a little bit of chest and arm work with some push-ups. Some things to remember. One, you want to have some water. We don't need weights or anything like that. If you have a mat, that would be good. Or you can use a towel to lay back on, because 90% of what we're going to do is going to be on the floor in a supine position on your back. So speaking about being on your back, you want to listen to your body. Whenever you're doing any kind of exercise, you want to listen to your body. You want to pay attention to your form. When you're laying on your back for exercises, you want to make sure, depending on the exercise, that your back is flat on the floor. And one way to do that is to roll up and then roll back, one vertebrae at a time. So at any time if you're doing an exercise and you feel that your back is arched off the floor, then you can sit up, roll back, one vertebrae at a time. Now the back is nice and flat on the floor, and you cannot get your hands under your back. So that's good. That's what you want to do. When you're doing push-ups, right now you can see my hips are lined up with my knees. Okay, that's not what we want. So you can take your knees back, take your hips forward. You see my back is flat, and now my hips are out past my knees. You also want to make sure you have an alignment between your shoulder, your elbow, and your hand. Now most of the movement for a push-up, and you want to make sure you have your belly button tucked, most of the movement for a push-up is in the elbows. So if you're going to be on your knees, you can either cross your feet or you can hold them out, but you want to make sure those hips are not over top of your knees. And you're going to just go straight down and back up. Straight down and back up. So you go down and then you push the floor away from you. You go down and then you exhale, pushing that floor away from you. That breathing, exhale, inhale is very important, because whenever you squeeze your core, think of when you're making your muscles nice and tight, that's when they're the smallest, and you want to blow all the air out. And then when you go back to a relaxed state, you want to inhale. And make sure you consult with a doctor before starting any regular routine exercise. I miss you guys. Again, this is Core and More. And you can join me for 30-minute Tabata, which is every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. So let's go. We talked about push-ups, and that's our first exercise. So I'll count down from 3, and I'll say 3, 2, 1, start. And we will do our exercise. You work at your own pace. We're going to do about 20-30 seconds. It's not about how many you do. It's about form, listening to your body. Think about your alignment. So I'd rather you get 5 push-ups in with good form than 10 or 15 with bad form, because that's not good for your body. So it's not about how many you do. It's about how many you do successfully. And anything that you can do with good form is success. So I'm going to start my music. So we're going to inhale through our nose, exhale, take one arm across the front of the body, stretch that shoulder, and let's switch. Let's stretch that forearm as we're going to do some push-ups. Do the same with the other. And let's sit back and come forward. We're going to sit back again. Come forward. Take your arms to one side. Come back center. The other side. Come back center. We're going to get into our push-up position. Remember, you want to make sure those hips are not over top of those knees. Make sure we got that straight line. We got regular push-ups. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. That's it. Make sure you breathe in. Almost there. You got it. Don't worry about how many I do. Can you feel your form? That straight line between your back, your head, your tailbone. Nice straight line. That chest goes to the floor, along with the thighs. And let's stop. Sit back. Now we're going to do push-ups, some more push-ups. We're going to do diamond push-ups. Take those arms out, take them behind you, and stretch. Bring them back in front of you. You're going to form a diamond with your hands. You're going to take that diamond down to the floor. Make sure you got that alignment where your hips are not over top of your knees. Make sure those arms are aligned properly. You're going to feel this more in your triceps. Okay, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Make sure you take that chest to that diamond. Make sure you're breathing. Keeping those shoulders parallel to the floor. Taking the hips, the thighs, and the chest, all going to the floor at the same time. Making sure your back is not arched. Now let's stop. And sit back. Okay, next exercise. We're going to come to a forearm plank. Okay? So my elbows on the floor, my hands out flat. I'm going to extend both legs out behind me. Nice flat back. And I'm going to take one leg. It's going to be my left, your right. And I'm going to extend it out and bring it back in. And as you extend it out, you should feel this in your core as you extend that leg out. So we're working our obliques as well as our legs. So you're going to feel this also in your quads. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Out and in. Out and in. Keep going. You want to keep your hips square with the floor. And your chest square with the floor. Keep it going. Check and make sure your core is lifted. Keep it going, almost there. And stop. Sit back. Now what we do to one side, we have to do the other. So coming back down, you can lay flat on the floor. Take your arms flat on the floor. Now come up to your elbows. From here, you're going to press your toes into the floor. And you're going to bring your chest, your stomach, and your thighs off the floor. And we're going to start. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Make sure you're breathing. Keep it going. Keep going. How's it going if you need to? Arch the back, heels to the floor, and lift. Keep it going. Almost there. I'm sorry, don't switch. I didn't mean to switch. And stop. Now we're going to come flat to the floor. Extend those arms out. Extend those legs out. Toes pressed against the floor. Arms straight out. Hope you can see me. Our next exercise, the feet are going to come off the floor along with my thighs. So I can get my hands in here. They're going to come off the floor. And my chest with it. Okay? So we're going to start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're going to lift and lower. You can keep the feet center. Bringing those arms back. Squeezing my back muscles. Squeezing my chest. Feeling this in my upper core. That's it. Don't forget to raise those legs up off the floor. Core. Also working those legs. Well, you're working your legs as long as you're lifting your feet off the ground. When you lift your toes up, you're not trying to bend the knees. You're taking them straight up and rest. Now come up. Now bring your arms by your side, back onto your forearms, sit back, and come out, back into that forearm plank. And you're going to take your knees up and hold them up. And 3, 2, 1, start. Now pretend you have a board, and that board is attached to the back of your head, all the way down your back, all the way to the heels of your feet. So if you had a board attached to your body like that, you wouldn't be able to dip down low and go up high. You would be straight, nice and flat, along with the board. So keep it going. You might see my fingers moving. I'm actually using them to count. Keep it going. 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How about that number count? It wasn't the greatest number count. Okay, take it out. Stretch. Come up. Sit back. And get yourself some water. We're going to go back to the plank. And, well, actually, we're going to go back to lifting our chest off the floor with the back legs coming up simultaneously. We're going to do that. Then we're going to go back to the plank. But for a moment, just get yourself some water. I'm going to inhale exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready, you can come back down onto your stomach. Feel yourself nice and flat. Your chest, your core, your thighs, nice and flat on the floor right now. Nice and flat. And then from here, you're going to squeeze your chest to come up, extend out, and those legs are going to come up simultaneously with it. In 3, 2, 1, start. You got it. Make sure you breathe. Now, I'm actually lifting my feet off the ground, but I'm not returning my feet to the ground. So it looks like this. Lift. See my feet? They're not returning to the ground. I don't know if you can see. So my feet are on the ground. I'm taking my feet off the ground. Lift and lower. 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 Lift and time. Sit up. In yoga, this might be called a child's pose. Not 100% sure. If you know, please leave me a comment. Stretching that back out. But I will look it up to make sure it's right. Coming back down. Hands flat on the floor. Sit back. I'm going to find my toes. I'm going to lift up off the floor. And I'm going to go down on my elbows. And let's start. Hold that plank. What I just did helps me to make sure my hips aren't too high. Take my hands out. Almost there. I won't count this time. How you doing? Are you shivering a little bit? That's good. As long as you keep that core off the floor. That's fine. Then stop. Sit back. So now, I want you to pretend, okay, your knees are now lined up with your hips. Okay? Elbow, shoulder, elbow, and hand lined up. Have a cup of coffee on my back. I don't want that coffee to spill. My chest and my entire upper core is parallel to the ground. And without shifting my weight, I'm going to lift one leg up. So if you see from the side, I'm forming a straight line. That upper leg is parallel to the floor. My lower leg is perpendicular to the floor. My foot is flat, like I'm going to step onto the ceiling. And that's what I'm going to pretend to do. So keep your weight centered, and we're going to lift and lower, 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 lift. Now notice. Going up, lift, and that lower is the starting point. So the starting point is here. I won't take my knee lower than that. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift. I'm going to turn this way to make sure I keep my chest square with the floor, parallel to the floor. That's it. I got coffee on my back. I don't want to spill it. And time. Now take it back straight. Got that alignment here. My other leg, make sure the top of my leg, my quads parallel to the floor. That foot is flexed, like I'm going to step onto the ceiling, and I'm going to start. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Got the hot coffee on my back, and I don't want it to spill. Making sure my chest is parallel to the floor, along with my hips. And you're squeezing. Keep going. Trying to make sure that leg stays straight. You got it. And time. Sit back. Grab some water if you want some water. Let me see. Still with me? I see. I see. Then come over on your back. Lay back flat. And we're going to tap out ankles. So side, center. Side, working those obliques. Keeping my head off the floor. You got it. Don't forget to breathe. Keeping the head and them shoulder blades off the floor. You got it. And time. Now, I'm going to take straight arms between my thighs. Feet flat on the floor. And I'm going to lift my head, my shoulder blades up. And take my hands between my thighs. And notice I'm coming up a little higher than what I was before. And 3, 2, 1, start. Come up. That's it. Keep it going. I'm looking straight ahead. And I'm taking those arms straight between my legs. So those arms are straight. Elbows not bent. And time. Next, I have leg elevations and 4 steps. Make sure that back is flat on the floor, so I'm going to sit and roll back 1 vertebrae at a time. And I'm going to lift, lift, lower, lower. So let's start. And 3, 2, 1. Lift your right leg, lift your left leg, lower right, lower left. Lift, lift, lower, lower at your own pace. Whatever you do, however fast or slow, can you still see me? Okay. Regardless of how fast or slow you go, only move 1 leg at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is why it's called leg elevation and 4 strokes. Now hold the legs up. Time. You're gonna from here take those arms straight out by your side. I want to make sure you can see me. And we're gonna do a V. So your hands are east and west. You're gonna reach up and tap the side of your leg. Here we go. And 3, 2, 1, start. You should feel this in both your upper and lower core. And stop. Take your feet down. Come up on your forearm. And from here, what you're going to do is you're going to bring those feet up and you're going to cross them. And 3, on your elbows. Bring them up and cross them. Here we go. Cross, cross. Don't forget to breathe. Keep it going. And stop. You still with me? If you need to, you can grab some water. I know I said we would take some water breaks. Let's see how much time we have left. Oops, we got more exercise to get through. Take your water break. Next exercise, we're gonna sit back, hands behind our heads, legs out straight. We're gonna take the legs up, keep the head and shoulder off the floor, and pedal the legs. You're gonna feel this in your upper core. In 3, 2, 1, start. Keep the head and the shoulder blades off the floor, and pedal. Make sure you breathe. And stop. Okay, next exercise. Okay, bring your knees up over top your hips. Now, bring the knee in and extend the leg out. Notice my knees are not crossing my body. Why am I telling you this? Because we're going to touch our opposite elbow to the opposite knee. But the knees are only going to go in and out. What does that mean? In order to touch that opposite knee, you're going to have to actually add a rotation. All right, knees over the hips, and let's begin. Opposite knee, opposite elbow, opposite knee, opposite elbow, opposite knee. Notice the leg just goes back, out, back and forth. It's the elbow and the upper core that's taking that elbow to the knee and not the knee to the elbow. Keep it going. And stop. All right, next exercise, forearms and our legs. We're gonna extend them out and in, okay? You ready? Here we go. Out and in, 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 out. Reverse crunches. And stop. Next exercise, we're gonna bring the chest in to meet the knees. So we lean back some, and we're gonna bring the upper body in and out, and the knees are gonna come back and forth. In 3, 2, 1. So we extend out and in, out and in, out and out. 10 more. 10 seconds, I mean. That's it. That's it. Last time for me. Woo. Oh, that was a challenge. Let me see, you still with me? What's the time? Okay, whoops. Looks like we gotta cool down. I have more, but we have to cool down. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Take one arm across the front of the body. And switch. Now take your hands to the floor, toes to the floor. Push yourself up. Walk your hands back. Drop your head and roll up. Pat yourself on the back. Support that elbow. And look forward. And when you're ready, you can switch. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I had so many exercises I missed. Bring one arm across the front of the body. So I'll just do different exercises next week. The ones that I missed, I'll do first. You don't realize how fast a half an hour goes by until you're trying to cram a whole bunch of stuff into that half an hour. Stretching that trapezius. And let's switch. Okay, step out. Take your glutes back, legs are straight. Shift your weight to one side. Stretching the inner thigh. Let's come back center and shift. Come back center. Slight bend in the knees, hands on the knees. Lift and lean in. Stretching your back. Let's shift. Switch. Come back center. And take one foot back. Front foot step out for stability. Toes pointing forward. Shift that weight to my front leg. Stretching the quads. Back heel up. I'm going to step it in a little. I'm going to reach straight up and come straight down. I'm in a straight line. My lower leg is parallel to the floor. Upper leg is perpendicular to the floor. I'm going to come back after stretching this quad. Switch. Front leg out. Shift my weight forward. Both heels flat on the floor. Stretching the quad. Come up. Go straight down. Stretching a little bit more. Come up. Slight bend in the knees. Step out. Lift the tilt. Bend the front toe up. Front toe down. Slight bend. Switch. Lift. Tilt. Front toe up. Front toe down. Arch and lift. Drop your head. Roll up. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Thank you for sharing this half hour with me. I hope it was worth it. Remember, you're special. There's only one of you. Be the best you can be, because no one can be better at being you than you. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you again.